Okay. Yeah. So yesterday we discussed like any physical mission, any server you take, right? Whatever server software you install in that mission, you can start calling that mission as with that name. If we install Oracle server software, I can call this mission as a Oracle server. Gmail server, Tomcat server. So similarly, all our operating systems, client type of softwares or server type of softwares. Yep. All our operating systems, especially Linux operating systems, comes under which category? Client type of softwares, server type of software.
Server side.
Okay. So just like any other softwares or operating systems or server type of softwares, hence if we install any OS, we can start calling with that name. If I install CentOS, it's a CentOS server. If I install AX, it's a AX server. If I install a Windows 2008, I can call that machine as a Windows 2008 server, right? Just like any other softwares, operating system softwares belongs to server type, all right? For our DevOps, definitely we have to create some servers. The OS we have chosen is CentOS. Why CentOS? It's an open source, free of cost from Red Hat. And even in real time, most of the servers will be in CentOS. All right. As part of our course, we are going to deal with multiple servers because that is the scenario in real time. In real time, every day, DevOps engineering teams work with multiple servers. We are here to build multiple servers, and daily we are here to work with multiple servers. Hence, this course we need to practice. We need to practice every scenario with more than one server. Hence, let's start create 3 to 4. So if you know how to work with more than 2 servers, it's the same process for 100 servers, even any number of servers. Hence, let's create a minimum 3 to 4 servers to practice every scenario of DevOps tools. Yes. Then here explain. To work with multiple servers, in olden days, we don't have any other way. We have to go for physical boxes. When we don't have virtualization, yeah, some 3 decades ago, when we don't have virtualization concept, any number of missions are required to work with your project. Those many number of missions, we have to buy physical missions only. We don't have any other way. Whatever the cost is, right? Whatever the cost is, company has to invest that much of money and they must buy physical servers. So I have taken one example. What is the example? So let's say I have taken one example. For a given project, if 2000 servers are required, in olden days, company used to buy 2000 servers by investing around, let's say, 50 crores of money. What are the disadvantages of physical machines? So let's say company went ahead and buy what around 2000 machines, but there are many disadvantages. What are the drawbacks? Can you tell me?
Return on investment. After the projects are completed, all the servers which we are used is to be idle, right? There is no use in that. If any other project will come also, we can't use that 2000 servers or those many number of servers we can't use for the next project completely. So that is the waste of investment.
Good. Okay. So ఒకవేళ 2000 servers కొన్నాము, ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్ అయిపోయింది. Then these servers used to be idle in data centers. మహా అయితే దీనిలో ఒక 10%, 15% వాడేవాళ్ళు. మిగతా అలా ఖాళీగా పోయింది. And we don't know when we will be using these servers to the maximum extent. We don't know when such a huge project will comes to the right company once again. Hence, if company calculates a return on investment, is to be very bad. So it's a waste of investment. Waste of investment is not so effective. When we invest a lot of money, but we don't have proper returns on that, then I would say the investment is very bad. Yeah. So that's where, and around, say this is the usage. During the project also, 2000 servers, we may not be using round the clock 24/7. Hardly we might be using some servers only 8 hours per day, and some of the servers only 4 hours per day. Some servers maybe we'll be using only weekends. Some servers might be 12 hours. So if you see during the project also, we are not using this hardware effectively. And that's where people started thinking, why we couldn't use hardware so effectively? Is there any other way? That's where we invented virtualization. So after virtualization, it's like a revolution. So people, trend has been entirely changed in IT. We used to talk as before virtualization, after virtualization. So what is virtualization in one sentence? Can anyone?
We can connect to number of servers by using the virtual machines.
Not connecting. Let's say earlier 2000 server, actually 2000 boxes, 2000 servers are required to complete one project. There is no shortcut in that. And 50 crores we invested. Now after virtualization, the same 2000 boxes we are able to achieve by buying only 500 physical servers. Okay, 500 physical servers. It means what is happening is, instead of buying 2000, now company can, if it buys, so if it buy only 500, more than enough. From this 500, we can create 2000 servers or 2000 boxes using virtualization concept. Thereby, we can reduce a lot of time and cost. You understood? Thereby, we can reduce a lot of time and cost.
Yes, sir.
To buy 50 server, to buy 500 servers, hardly it might be 10 crores, around 10 crores. You understood? So now company, for one project, instead of investing 50 crores, we are able to bring down to 10 crores to buy, let's say 500 server physical boxes, maybe only around 10 to 12 for, let's say 12 crores. So how much money we are able to save? Almost 38 crores we saved for one project. If this is the estimation, then how about multiple projects in a company? So if we follow what is virtualization, we're going to see. But after virtualization, for the same project, if we buy, we are now buying only 500 by investing only 12 crores. So a lot of money we are saving. Not only money, to set up these 2000 servers, physical machines in data centers. Data centers lo ఈ physical 2000 servers machines సెటప్ చేయాలి అంటే చాలా ఉంటాయండి అవునా. ఆ మిషన్స్ డేటా సెంటర్లో డిప్లాయ్ చేయాలి. సో పవర్ సప్లై, వాటర్ సప్లై, నెట్వర్కింగ్ ద్వారా కనెక్ట్ చేయాలి. అంటే నెట్వర్కింగ్ కేబుల్స్, రౌటర్స్, స్విచెస్, ఈ 2000 మిషన్స్ కూడా ఒక నెట్వర్క్స్ లో కనెక్ట్ చేయాలి. ఇవన్నీ చేయాలంటే వెరీ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్డ్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ ని కూడా రిక్రూట్ చేసుకోవాలి. రైట్, వెరీ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ నెట్వర్క్ అడ్మిన్స్, సిస్ అడ్మిన్స్, యూనిక్స్ అడ్మిన్స్. సో వీళ్ళందరూ కలిసి మినిమం ఒక 6 months పనిచేస్తే, రైట్, then they used to set up this 2000 servers in data center. Once after these admins set up these servers, then only these servers are good to use by engineers. So to set a time also we used to take a lot of time. Even when multiple admins involved, right? So connecting these missions via networking components and bring them into usage used to take minimum 6 months. So whereas after virtualization, cost has been reduced at the same time. Now, after virtualization to set up these missions, maybe within a month or within 52 weeks, we can set up. That's how we are able to reduce time and cost. Understood? It not only reduced time, it not only reduced cost, it also drastically we are able to bring down time duration as well. Now, agile kind of projects, we know that the expectations are very high, the project durations are very short. So especially to drive agile kind of projects, if you start setting up everything in physical boxes, so not possible. ఆ మిషన్స్ ని సెటప్ చేయడానికి అంత టైం పడితే అజైల్ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ వి నో దట్ అజైల్ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ every 2 week releases will be there, right? So no, that is ruled out. All the physical missions concept is ruled out. So most of the missions, even now in industry, are virtual missions. Using virtualization, we create missions like whatever missions we created using virtualization, we called as VMs. VMs means virtual missions. Clear? Yeah. Now let's see the definition. Now let's see the definition and try to understand what is virtualization. What is virtualization? Yeah. So let's say referring to old diagram, let me explain. Hope you will understand. Yeah, try to understand this. Let's say Sunil. Sunil has bought one machine from market. So he has invested 1 lakh of rupees. Let's say 1.5 lakhs he invested. And he has bought very high-end machine from market. Right? And the configuration is 16 GB of RAM, some quad core, very latest CPU. And let's say it is 1000 GB. 1000 GB means 1 terabyte. You understood? 1 terabyte of hard disk drive. For a DevOps, let's say to learn DevOps course, he has bought one machine, very high-end laptop, a RAM 16 GB and hard disk drive 1 terabyte. Right? Or anybody. So prior to virtualization, what used to happen is daily if the usage is, let's say we have bought very high-end machine, but at any point of time, he is not using the maximum extent of these hardware resources. Let's assume he's hardly using RAM only 4 GB, CPU only 10%, and hard disk drive only 400 GB. కొనడం అయితే ఎక్కువ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ పెట్టి he paid huge amount of money and he bought a very high-end machine. But coming to the usage, he couldn't use to the maximum extent, but hardly he is using, the usage is only 4 GB, 10% and 400 GB. Then what about remaining hardware? Is idle. Remaining hardware is idle. Then ROI, if we calculate, very bad. It's not a good idea of investment. సో మనకి ఎంత కావాలో అంతే పర్చేస్ చేస్తే బాగుండేది. కానీ he invested lot of money. He bought high-end machine. But coming to daily usage, this is the usage. సో అట్లానే ఓన్లీ 4 GB 10% 500 GB మిషన్ కూడా కొనలేడు. ఎందుకోసం? టుడే ది యూసేజ్ ఈస్ దిస్ మచ్, బట్ ఆఫ్టర్ 1 month and 2 months, let's the usage increase. Then he cannot buy another laptop, right? So we cannot say 4 GB is sufficient, right? And laptops are computers we cannot buy every time. So if the usage is more next month or after 2 months, then he cannot buy another laptop, right? So this is the scenario. Then in this case, after virtualization, using virtualization, let's say this is the computer he has bought. This is the computer he has bought, right? Computer. Then using virtualization concept, what we are doing is we can split the same physical machine into number of parts, number of virtual machines. Using virtualization, we can split the same given laptop or same given computer into number of parts. Like let's say he splitted the same computer into 4 parts. And each part we can call it as a virtual machine. Using virtualization, we can split the same computer into logically, not physically. It's not like whenever I say split the computer into 4 parts, we are not going to break the computer. No, we won't break the computer. But what do we do? Here, splitting means programmatically, using virtualization concept, programmatically, logically, we will split the same computer into multiple parts, which we call it as a virtualization. To split this, using virtualization, we have softwares available in market. Using virtualization, there are some softwares for virtualization concept. Using those virtualization softwares, we can split any given physical computer into number of virtual machines. Once we split each part, we call it as a virtual machine. Is nothing but one computer, virtual computer. This is another virtual. This is another virtual. Hence, let's say he started dividing. So 16 GB missions, 16 GB missions, 4 missions we can create out of one mission. 4 GB, 4 GB, 4 GB. 16 divided by 4. So I can create 4 missions, 4 virtual missions out of one single physical box. And a hard disk, if I split 250 GB among 4 virtual missions. It means what is happening? Let's say if someone asks you, boss, can you create it? How many 2 GB missions we can create out of 16 GB missions? 16 divided by 2. 8 2 GB. If 4 GB missions 4 and 2 GB missions means we can create 8 2 GB missions. So it depends on you how many missions you want to create. So what is the configuration of each virtual mission? It depends on you. So maximum 4 GB missions, how many we can create from 16 GB mission means maximum 4. 2 GB missions, maximum 8. So what is happening here? So whenever we create any virtual mission using virtualization concept, of course, try to remember one point. Once we create one virtual mission using virtualization concept from the same physical box, this virtual mission is as good as it's same as your physical box. There won't be any difference in usage point of view. And ఒక physical mission లో సేమ్ ఒక physical mission 4 VMs కింద మనం క్రియేట్ చేసాం. Is there any difference between one virtual mission and one physical laptop? Means I will say no, there won't be literally any difference. Usage point of view, మీరు ఒక separate గా మీరు ఒక physical mission, if you buy one physical mission, one laptop, ఇది ఏ విధంగా అయితే వర్క్ చేస్తుందో VM కూడా ditto same, it works the same like your physical box. There won't be any difference at all. Hence, once we create VMs, these VMs are just like your physical boxes. But the beauty is, yes, we are able to create any number of virtual machines from the given computer. For that, we have to depend on virtualization concept, and there are some softwares to support virtualization concept. So those softwares we usually call as hypervisors. The softwares to support virtualization concept to create VMs. So what is the generic name? Generic name is those kind of softwares we call as hypervisor softwares. And in market, there are multiple hypervisor softwares like Oracle Box, VMware Workstation, KVM, etc. So we have number of hypervisor softwares to support virtualization to create VMs. out of all these, we have number of hypervisor softwares, but VMware workstation is very popular. VMware workstation is very popular. Hence we choose VMware workstation software to create multiple VMs. Is that clear? So this is what the concept is. Hence now, if someone asks you, can you tell the definition of virtualization in one sentence? I would say, virtualization is the process of splitting a physical machine into number of virtual machines using hypervisor software. What is the definition? Virtualization is the process of splitting one physical computer into splitting logically, splitting programmatically into number of virtual machines using hypervisor softwares. So simple. Is that clear? Yep. Now, for our Devops practice, even though 4 missions or 5 missions are required for Devops course, you no need to buy 4 different physical computers or laptops. Whatever laptop you are having, from the same laptop, we are going to create multiple virtual machines and start working. And this is the same scenario in real time as well. In real time also, we will be working in only virtual missions, whatever the missions
Sir,
for work purpose, yeah, and deployment purpose, all are virtual missions only. Yeah.
virtualization ఒకసారి చెప్పారా? Virtualization is the process of splitting physical machines into the 4 machines అంటామా అక్కడ మళ్ళీ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్.
I'll write the definition, don't worry. Okay.
Yeah.
Definition.
Actually, notes prepare.
So virtualization is the process of logically splitting any physical computer into number of virtual machines. Virtualization,
okay.
Virtualization is the process of logically splitting any physical computer into number of virtual machines. Yep. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? Simple, but you need to.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
This is the basic class, and based on this only, because we will slowly move on to. We'll start with very core basics, but day by day, the complexity will increase. We will slowly move to advanced tools. And if you ask me, Anna, the very popular advanced tools nowadays, Docker, Kubernetes, or whatever tools in every area, either in development or testing or DevOps, every tool is revolving around virtualization only. Here, the virtualization we see might be very simple, but the virtualization in Docker and Kubernetes is too complex. Everything is virtualization there. So this is the foundation class for your upcoming advanced tools. Yep. So simple, but remember, we're going to see still more advanced virtualization concepts going on. This is the diagram, and we have another one. Let me write the same concept. I have another diagram. Copy this. Now, let me write the theory for you guys. So after virtualization, you can split one single physical computer into multiple VMs logically. Well, I can say VMs. VMs are nothing but servers. So you can write your own definitions. So in interview also, don't try to tell, mug up and tell bookish answers. Google చదివి మీరు అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి. ఇంటర్వ్యూలో కూడా మీ ఓన్ వర్డ్స్తో చెప్పాలి, కానీ బుకిష్ డెఫినేషన్స్ ఏదో బట్టి పడినట్టు చెప్పకూడదు. సో ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఇన్ తెలుగు ఆర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ లాంగ్వేజ్ యువర్ కంఫర్టబుల్, అండ్ అలాబొరేట్లీ రైట్ యువర్ ఓన్ వే ఆఫ్ డెఫినేషన్స్. సో ఇదేం హార్డ్ కోడ్ డెఫినేషన్స్ ఏం కాదు. కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థం చేసుకుని ఇంటర్వ్యూలో మీ ఓన్ వర్డ్స్ లో చెప్తే ఇంకా బాగుంటుంది. ఓకే, బట్ స్టిల్ వీ రైట్ హియర్. రైట్. Yeah, it's good to write your own notes. That's always. So what is the definition? After virtualization, we can split one single physical computer into multiple VMs logically. We are split logically. Logically means programmatically, guys. Okay. So ఇది మనం ఈ కంప్యూటర్ని బ్రేక్ చేయము, బట్ యూజింగ్ హైపర్వైజర్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్. సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ హెల్ప్ తీసుకొని లాజికల్గా ప్రోగ్రామాటికల్గా స్ప్లిట్ అవుతాం. ఓకే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఈఎస్ఎక్స్ సర్వర్స్ అని ఉంటాయండి. డోంట్ వరీ టూ మచ్ అబౌట్ ఇట్. సో జస్ట్ రిమెంబర్ దిస్ నేమ్. ఈఎస్ఎక్స్ సర్వర్స్ ఈజ్ ఎ వెరీ high end computer. Like from in real time, your admins will use from ESX servers, which are very high end machines. From one ESX server, they might create 100 virtual boxes. So not only ESX server, any computer in general, we can create multiple VMs. Next, to learn Devops course, we need minimum 3 servers. Hence, I suggest you to create 3 VMs. 3 VMs using VMware Workstation is the hypervisor software. ఈ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ యూజ్ చేసి మీరు 3 VMs క్రియేట్ చేయండి. అండ్ while creating VMs, I suggest you everyone to follow the same naming convention. So during the course, whatever I suggest in first round, please follow the same thing. అంటే ఒకలా క్రియేట్ చేసి వేరే వాళ్ళు ఒకలాగా అంటే అది బాగోదు. సో లెట్స్ everybody on the same page. So whatever I say, please follow the same naming convention and try to create or work every example the same way. Once you got the subject, after first round, you grasp the subject, then you can do your research. Then you can create in whatever way you want. Yeah. So first, what I'm suggesting, for immediately you need to create 3 servers: server 1, server 2, server 3 with CentOS. And while host name try to give as this is the host name. Host name, I'm expecting this way. Yeah. Practically, I'll show you everything. Don't worry. So please follow this naming convention. This we call it as a fully qualified domain name. While creating a server 1, your host name should be server1.abc.com. While creating server 2, you have to give your host name as server2.abc.com. Similarly, server3.abc.com. Okay. Now we are going to create these 3 servers. So keep your notes ready and note down your steps. Very first step. So I have given very clearly steps. First step, right? So install. Let me write down these things. So very clearly I have written for your previous batch. Yeah. So just blindly, if you follow these steps blindly, you can create, guys. What is the step 1? First step is install VMware Workstation, which is a hypervisor software. Okay. Once we install VMware Workstation, then start creating server 1, server 2, server 3. I'll show you now practically. So yeah. VMware Workstation, all the softwares required for your DevOps tools, I will be providing. I will share these softwares from Google Drive. You have to download these softwares and install. All the softwares required for a DevOps, right? You don't need to download or get it from anywhere. I will be sharing all the softwares from Google Drive. Just download it and install it. As part of that, what are the softwares required? First, we need VMware Workstation. I will share this software. After this session, I will share this software. First, you need to install this software. All right. So how to install? Just double click. It's a Windows, right? Just Windows mission. So double click on this. Then you know how to install from here. Next. You understood? So VMware Workstation 11, I'll try to give the latest one, 17 version. So you know how to install any software in Windows. Just a double click, next. Within 5 minutes, you can complete the installation of VMware Workstation. During the installation, if it asks any serial key, so this is the key, you have to type it. I will share the key file as well. So once you install, quickly first install VMware Workstation by providing key. Very simple. Yeah. Next, to create any mission or virtual mission, we need one operating system software. CentOS 6.8, CentOS 7. These are the two different operating systems I will share. Initially, try to create one virtual mission using 6.8. Keep this file as backup. In future, if I ask you to create quickly another virtual mission with CentOS 7, you should be able to create. So I will share these two files. These two files are CentOS Linux operating system files. మీ OS ఏదైతే ఉందో OS 6.8 OS మొత్తం దీనిలో ఉంటుంది, and another one is 7. So I'll share all these softwares. You download చేసుకొని మీ మిషన్లో ఏదో ఒక డ్రైవ్లో సేఫ్గా స్టోర్ చేసుకోండి. మీ పేరుతో ఒక డ్రైవ్లో ఎక్కడో చోట సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ బ్యాకప్ అని చెప్పి. So please try to download and maintain all these softwares in one directory. Yeah. Now, what is the first step? First step is install. What is the first step? Install VMware Workstation. Once we install VMware Workstation, you will get icon. This is the icon. You see? On desktop, you will get this VMware Workstation. Then double click and open it. This is how you will get. First step, install VMware Workstation and open. This is the UI. This is how your VMware Workstation looks like. Using this VMware Workstation, we are going to create virtual missions. Clear? Yep. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I will show you how to quickly create one virtual mission. I will share the recording as well. Keeping this recording as reference, by tomorrow, you need to create server 1, server 2, server 3. I will show you how to create one virtual mission. It's the same steps to create any number of VMs. Okay. So please follow. Right. Another point is, let's say, yeah. I mean, in some, I remember around 2020s, okay, 2000, in the year of 2000 or 1999, it means almost 2 decades back. If we want to create okay, almost 2 decades back, when there is no virtualization, and virtualization is there, but yeah, right, if we want to install any Linux mission, or if you want to, instead of saying install or create, if anyone wants to create one virtual mission, one Linux mission, okay, Unix mission create cheyali ante, Linux or Unix mission, so it used to take minimum half day, but procedure. ఒక లైనక్స్ బాక్స్, ఒక లైనక్స్ మిషన్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి అంటే హాఫ్ డే పట్టేది. సో ప్రొసీజర్ ఆల్సో చాలా కాంప్లెక్స్ ఉండేది. సో అది కూడా అందరి వల్ల అయ్యేది కాదు. కొంతమంది వెరీ సీనియర్ పీపుల్, ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్, ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళే, వాళ్ళకి మాత్రమే తెలిసేది. ఒక లైనక్స్ మిషన్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలంటే So those days, it's like a very big task, and only few people knows this procedure. కొంతమందికి మాత్రమే తెలిసేది, అది కూడా వాళ్ళ ఒక హాఫ్ డే కష్టపడితే దెన్ వీఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు క్రియేట్ వన్ లైనక్స్ మిషన్, ఒక లైనక్స్ మిషన్ క్రియేట్ చేయగలిగేవాళ్ళు. అర్థమైందండి? రైట్. బట్ ఈవెన్ టిల్ టుడే ఎక్సెప్ట్ డెవాప్స్ ఇంజనీర్స్, సో మిగతా వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా ఈ లైనక్స్ మిషన్స్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలన్నా దే ఆర్ నాట్ అవేర్ ఆఫ్ దట్. చాలా మందికి తెలియదు. Of course, now it became easy using VMware. Many people are creating, but still there are some teams which they don't know how to create a Linux machine. So Linux antene kontamandi భయపడుతూ ఉంటారు, I don't know, but Linux is a very beautiful operating system. You believe me or not, once you start using Linux, you will definitely, everyone likes it. So going forward, ఒకవేళ ఈ లైనక్స్ అలవాటు పడిన వాళ్ళు అసలు విండోస్ కూడా పక్కన పెట్టి ఎవ్రీడే ఓన్లీ లైనక్స్ వాళ్ళ ల్యాప్టాప్ లో ఉంటుందండి. వాళ్ళ బ్రౌజింగ్ అవ్వచ్చు, వాచింగ్ మూవీస్ ఆర్ చాటింగ్. సో డైలీ మనం ఏదైతే యాక్టివిటీ చేస్తామో దే యూస్ టు డూ ఇన్ లైనక్స్ ఓన్లీ, బికాస్ లైనక్స్ ఈస్ వెరీ వెరీ ఫాస్ట్. వన్స్ ఎనీబడి గాట్ యూస్ టు లైనక్స్, సో రైట్, సో ఇట్స్ సో ఈజీ అండ్ వెరీ ఫాస్ట్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్. They really liked it. I have seen many people who continues with Linux instead of Windows boxes. But still, some people, everything touch చేయరు. సో ఆ భయం అలానే ఉంటుంది. లైనక్స్ అంటే ఏదో భయం, కమాండ్స్ ఉంటాయి, బ్లాక్ అండ్ వైట్, సో ఎలా వాడాలో ఫీల్ అవుతూ ఉంటారు. బట్ నవ్ డేస్ ఇట్స్ వెరీ సింపుల్. సో ఓల్డెన్ డేస్ లో ఒక హాఫ్ డే పట్టేది, బట్ నౌ within 5 to 10, maybe within hardly 10 minutes, or 10 to 15 minutes, we can create one virtual machine so easy. So earlier half day work pattedi, but now it's very easy, guys. Let us see that. And the operating system got a OS, let us say Linux OS, Linux and operating system, because to create virtual machine we need operating system. Right? To create VM, what and all we need? First one is VMware Workstation Hypervisor workstation, which we call it as hypervisor software. So another one is, ఒకసారి చెప్పండి, ఒక మిషన్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి, ఏమేమి కావాలి మనకి? Forget about VM. First, let's discuss. If you know how to create a physical computer, then it's the same steps we need to follow to create VM as well. So as we are very familiar with the physical computer, let's first discuss what we actually need to create a physical computer. So could you please tell everyone? Yeah. So what I'm saying, once we create a VM, there is no big difference between physical server and VM. Now you tell me, if you want to assemble, or if you want to build a new physical computer, forget about VM. VM we will talk later. First, let's try to understand what do we need? What are the requirements to create a physical computer? Please someone tell me.
First of all, we'll need a monitor, sir.
Monitor. Let's say, can I say like this? We need to buy hardwares from market. You have to go to market, then start buying hardwares. So, అంటే కొంతమంది ఎట్లా చేస్తాం కదండి, ఫిజికల్ కంప్యూటర్ ల్యాప్టాప్ కొంతమంది ఏం చేస్తారు, వాళ్ళే అసెంబుల్ చేసుకుంటారు ఓన్గా. ల్యాప్టాప్ అవ్వచ్చు, లేకపోతే ఫిజికల్ కంప్యూటర్ అవ్వచ్చు, మానిటర్ అవ్వచ్చు. ఫస్ట్ దే యూస్ టు అసెంబుల్ ఆన్ దేర్ ఓన్. స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా అసెంబుల్ చేసుకుంటుంటారు కొంచెం. సో
mainly gaming people.
Yeah. సో వాళ్ళకి కావాల్సినటువంటి కాన్ఫిగరేషన్, సెలెక్టివ్ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్ మార్కెట్ నుండి పర్చేస్ చేసి దే యూస్ టు అసెంబుల్ దేర్ ఓన్ కంప్యూటర్స్ నవేడేస్, ఈవెన్ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఆల్సో. సో వాట్ డూ దే డూ? They go to market, they will buy first hardwares. What kind of CPU? If you start assembling your own computer, select మీకు ఏం కావాలో ఆ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్స్ ని బై చేసి you can build your own computer with your own configurations, right? So go to market, buy hardware first. Hardware means mainly CPU, hard disk drive, RAM, monitor. All right? So when you go to market nundi, by paying 1 lakh or 1.5 lakhs of rupees, You will buy this hardware. Then you'll bring home, start assembling. So physical computer assemble చేస్తాం. ఒక physical computer assemble చేయాలి అంటే ఫస్ట్ physical గా హార్డ్వేర్ కావాలి. హార్డ్వేర్ మెయిన్లీ హార్డ్వేర్ అంటే CPU, హార్డ్ డిస్క్ డ్రైవ్, ర్యామ్, మానిటర్, అఫ్ కోర్స్ మదర్ బోర్డ్. అవునండి. మెయిన్లీ దీస్ ఆర్ ద హార్డ్వేర్స్ ఇవేగా. సో ఇవి తీసుకుంటాం. కంప్యూటర్ అసెంబుల్ చేస్తారు. కంప్యూటర్ అసెంబుల్ చేసిన వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఇమీడియట్ నెక్స్ట్ స్టెప్ వి డూ? Once after assemble, okay? Once after we assemble the computer, what do we do immediately? Computer. What is the first step? We need to install operating system. Once you build your computer, there are two steps here. Try to understand. Using hardware components, you assemble the physical computer. Let's say computer is ready, but no software installed yet. The very first software we install is operating system. We know that. And while installing operating system, these are the steps. While installing any operating system, it will prompt in between. It will prompt. So the hard disk we bought from the market is a raw hard disk. The name of a raw hard disk, which is not ready to use. In order to use this hard disk, first we need to format. మనం దీని పార్టీషన్స్ కింద క్రియేట్ చేసి ఫార్మాట్ చేయాలి. యు నో దిస్ పాయింట్, రైట్? ఎనీ హార్డ్ డిస్క్ డ్రైవ్, మీరు పెన్ డ్రైవ్ అవ్వచ్చు, హార్డ్ డిస్క్ డ్రైవ్ అవ్వచ్చు, మార్కెట్ నుండి మనం ఏదైతే కొంటామో దాన్ని రా హార్డ్ డిస్క్ అంటారు. రా హార్డ్ డిస్క్ అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్, దాన్ని ఇంకేదో చేయాలి, చేస్తే తప్ప అది వాడుకోలేదు. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ రెడీ టు యూస్. ఇట్ ఈస్ అ రా హార్డ్ డిస్క్ అన్న. దీన్ని ఏం చేయాలన్నా అంటే, సో ఫస్ట్ యూ నీడ్ టు క్రియేట్ పార్టీషన్స్. ఫస్ట్ యూ నీడ్ టు ఫార్మాట్ ద హార్డ్ డిస్క్. హార్డ్ డిస్క్ ని ఫార్మాట్ చేసి పార్టీషన్ సి డ్రైవ్, డి డ్రైవ్ అని ఈ అనదర్ 2 steps మనం చేస్తే ఈ హార్డ్ డిస్క్ ని మనం వాడుకోగలం. అన్లెస్ ఈ ఫార్మాట్ హార్డ్ డిస్క్ వీ కెనాట్ యూజ్ ఇట్ ఫర్ రైటింగ్ ఎనీ డేటా. ఈ హార్డ్ డిస్క్ ని మనం ఫార్మాట్ చేయకుండా ఇఫ్ యూ ట్రై టు రైట్ ఎనీ డేటా లైక్ క్రియేటింగ్ ఫైల్స్ ఆర్ ఫోల్డర్స్, ఇట్ విల్ నాట్ అలౌ. యు నో దట్? డూ యు నో దట్? నాట్ ఓన్లీ హార్డ్ డిస్క్, ఒక న్యూ పెన్ డ్రైవ్, just buy one new pen drive from market and connect to your laptop. Initially it will ask, do you want to format? అది ఫార్మాట్ చేయమని కంపల్సరీగా అడుగుద్ది. మీరు రైట్ క్లిక్ చేసి మీ పెన్ డ్రైవ్ ని ఫార్మాట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఇట్ క్యాన్ బి యూజ్డ్. యు నో దట్? Format is required. Format is compulsorily it is required. So I will tell you what is format after a few steps. But at this point of time, remember, these are the sequence of steps to build your physical mission. Why I am referring to physical mission means, if we know what are the sequence of steps involved in building a physical computer, it's the same steps behind the scene happens even while creating your virtual mission as well. అది virtual mission, ఇది physical mission, అంతే difference. But steps same ఉంటాయి. Hence, buy the computer hardware, assemble the computer, install operating system. As part of your OS installation, it will ask a hard disk to format and partitions. Next, after these 2 steps are completed, during the installation, it will ask some more information. How much is CPU, how much RAM, how much hard disk is required. So our values మనం మెన్షన్ చేస్తాము. మెన్షన్ చేసిన తర్వాత okay, these steps I'll tell you. To install your operating system, what is required, guys? OS software is required. Yeah? To install your operating system, primarily we need OS software. And operating system software, where do we get? Usually in the form of CDs. So manaki CDs lo untadi, or otherwise, you know that, right? Any operating system, Windows or Linux, anything, either you will get it in CD, or we also get it in the form of .iso file. If we try to download any, let's say, CentOS means CentOS 6.8. What is the extension of the file, guys? Any operating system file extension, what is the extension? .iso file. Please remember this. These are ISO file images అంటారు. And one file, CentOS 6.8 ISO, one file is enough If you have this file, your entire CentOS 6.8 operating system software will reside in this file. ఈ ISO ఫైల్లోనే మీ OS ఫైల్ మొత్తం ఉంటుంది. దానికి సంబంధించిన సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఫైల్స్ అన్ని ఉంటాయి. Either you download this file from internet or you get it from anyone. If you have this file, this is the software. Using this software, we will going to create virtual machine. You understood this point? Yeah? Either physical machine or virtual machine. You want to create physical machine or virtual machine. These are the requirements. These are the things we need. Hardwares are required. Hardware is nothing but CPU, hard disk drive, and RAM. And try to install one operating system. To install your operating system, one software is required. And during the installation of your OS, it will ask you to format the hard disk, and it will ask you to create the partitions. You understood? Once you complete installation of your operating system, done. Your machine will be ready. You can start using. So simple, right? Clear, guys? So idega chesed mana ikkada varakeega. And everyone. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Anna.
Buy the hardware, install OS, during installation, format it, partition. But to install any operating system, you need a software. So usually nowadays, operating system softwares are available in the form of ISO files. So this ISO file software I will share. You have to download it and install it. That's it you require. Now, to create the steps to create virtual machine, also the same steps. There won't be any difference, guys. అది ఫిజికల్ మిషన్ మనం క్రియేట్ చేయబోయేది వర్చువల్గా క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం వర్చువల్ మిషన్. లెట్స్ సే దిస్ మిషన్ ఈజ్ క్రియేటెడ్ బై ద హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్, బట్ ద వర్చువల్ మిషన్ విల్ బీ క్రియేటెడ్ బై at the background is actually logically created by your VMware workstation. That's the only difference. VM అనేది programmatically, logically VMware workstation అనే సాఫ్ట్వేర్ క్రియేట్ చేయబోతుంది. Whereas physical machine is actually ఈ స్టెప్స్ అన్ని కూడా మనం ఒక హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్స్ మనం చేస్తాము ఇవన్నీ. The same steps whatever we are doing here, right? In VMware workstation, this particular software will do at the background. That's the only difference. And once we create VM, it's the same as your physical box. You can start using as a physical machine only. So usage point of view, there won't be any difference. Now let's start creating VM. So put the heading, how to create your VM. I'll come to these steps again. These are the 2 extra points I said. Remember this. Now how to create VM. All right. So let's create VM. Very simple. You can write down steps as well. Earlier, ఒక Linux machine రెడీ చేయాలంటే ఒక హాఫ్ డే పట్టేది. ఇప్పుడు it's a matter of 10 minutes, guys. Within 10 minutes, we can create one VM. Within 1 hour, you can create some 3-4 VMs. Very simple nowadays. So for that, I assume that you have installed VMware workstation. ఈ విధంగా VMware workstation మీరు ఇన్స్టాల్ చేశారు. 5 minutes. First ఇది ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయాలి. Then open this one. Then go. First step is, please write down file. Click on file, new virtual machine. Click on file, new virtual machine. Then say, I will share this software, VMware Workstation 17. Write down the steps. Here there are 2 options. Typically, custom. Typical means it will install, it will create with the default settings. So background ఏం జరుగుతుందో మనకు తెలియదు. So let's go ahead. Custom means we can mention our own configurations. మన VM ఎలా క్రియేట్ అవ్వాలి అని చెప్పి మన వాల్యూస్ మనమే మెన్షన్ చేయొచ్చు. Hence, for that, please choose the second option, custom. I repeat again. Click on file, new virtual machine. custom advanced. So click on this. Next, say next. Then here, మీరు ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసిన VMware workstation version already ఉంటుంది. Don't do anything, just say next. So next. Here, try to select the third option. I will install the operating system later. What does it mean? It means first I will create the computer, then OS I will install later. Physical machine కూడా అంతేగా, ఫస్ట్ అసెంబుల్ చేసాము, OS తర్వాత ఇన్స్టాల్ చేస్తాం. Similarly, by selecting third option here, the meaning is I'm saying first I will create the VM virtual machine, then I will install OS later. Please make sure you select this option, click on next. Then here, during the creation of virtual machine itself, we have to tell what kind of OS we are going to install. Because we can create virtual machine, Windows virtual machine, right? Or Linux virtual machine. We can create virtual machines with any operating system, guys, not only Linux. It means during the creation of VM, during this step, you have to tell which OS with which OS we are going to create your VM. మనం ఏ OS తో VM క్రియేట్ చేయబోతున్నామో ఇక్కడే మనం చెప్పాలి కాబట్టి please select Linux. Let's say if you want to create a Windows box, Windows VM, then you select this one. But here we are going to create a Linux box. Please make sure you select Linux. ఈ స్క్రీన్ లో ఏం సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి? Linux. Then say next. Okay. So this is very important. This is when I say virtual machine, fully qualified domain name ఇవ్వాలి. ఈ విధంగా ఇస్తేనే మీకు మీ DevOps tools అనే వర్క్ అవుతాయి. సో ఇక్కడ server1 మీరు ఏం చేయాలండి? You have to say server1.abc.com. Here I told you have to give the name as server1.abc.com. Is that clear, guys? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
server1.abc.com. All right. So as server1, server2, server3, as I already created, so let me give, as I have a lot of missions I created here. I think server1, server2 already there. So what I will do is, so I'll do server 52. That's a server 52. But you have to create server1. Please remember, you have to create server1, server2, server3. As I already have, I'm giving a server 52. You understood? So here, give fully qualified name. Then location. This is the place where you have to mention your location. For this, try to do whatever I'm saying now. Whenever we create any virtual machine, as we are creating virtual machine programmatically, background లో మనం క్రియేట్ చేసే వర్చువల్ మిషన్స్ అన్ని కూడా బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ లో దే ఆర్ ఫైల్స్, నథింగ్ బట్ దే ఆర్ ఫైల్స్. యూ అండర్స్టూడ్? ఇదంతా లాజికల్ గా ప్రోగ్రామాటికల్ గా క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి వర్చువల్ మిషన్ అన్నది సో దే ఆర్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఫైల్స్. అండ్ వన్ మోర్ పాయింట్ ఐ ఫర్గాట్ టు టెల్ హియర్. సో హియర్ వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ ఇస్ whenever we create virtual machines, the main takeaway point is whenever we create a number of virtual machines, here what is happening, whatever the hardware required for every virtual machine, it is actually allocating from the same underlying hardware. The same underlying hardware of a physical machine, or laptop is only getting shared among multiple VMs. ఈ VMs కి అంటే న్యూలీ ఇంకెక్కడి నుండో తెచ్చే హార్డ్వేర్ ఇవ్వదు. మీ ల్యాప్టాప్ లో ఏదైతే టోటల్ హార్డ్వేర్ ఉందో దాని నుండే షేర్ అవుద్ది. ఈ పాయింట్ గుర్తుంది కదా మీకు? వాట్ ఎవర్ హార్డ్వేర్ వీఆర్ అసైనింగ్ ఫర్ ఈచ్ VM is actually the right, it is allocating from the same underlying hardware. That's why out of 16 GB we can create a maximum only 4 GB missions. So for VMs, where the hardware allocation is happening, where the hardware is sharing among multiple VMs from the same physical box, it's the sum of. Let's say once the 16 GB is completed, no, we cannot create no more VMs. So total hardware of every VM, sum of all these VMs hardware is nothing but or indirectly the hardwares for the VMs will get from the your underlying machine. Please remember this point. Okay. Yeah. So next. So let's say ఈ step లో మనం ఏం చేయాలండి, try to give virtual machine server1.abc.com, and as I said, once we create virtual machine, end of the day, this virtual machine related, right, related configurations, everything will save in your computer as a files. Hence we need to provide the path where these configurations should save. For that, what you do is go to your computer. Let's say go to your computer. Yeah, I have given this path. So నేను ఏం చేశాను, ఈ పర్టికులర్ పాత్ లో రైట్ క్లిక్ చేసి ఒక ఫోల్డర్ క్రియేట్ చేశాను. వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఫోల్డర్ నేమ్? వర్చువల్ మిషన్స్. సో వర్చువల్ మిషన్స్ అనే ఫోల్డర్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ దిస్ ఫర్ సి సర్వర్ 1, సర్వర్ 2, సర్వర్ 4, వాట్ ఎవర్ విఎమ్స్. నేను ఇక్కడ విఎం వేవ్ స్టేషన్ లో ఏదైతే క్రియేట్ చేశానో, how many servers, whatever servers I created here, all these servers at the back end getting stored in my computer as some folders and files. So this is server 1, right? Then VMware workstation lo create chesina server 1 taluku files and folders. So you open this, these are all the files. Once you create your VM, you see all the files related to that virtual machine will get stored here. It means end of the day, your virtual machines will be in the form of files and folders. You understood? Hence, you need to give one path. It is asking, boss, can you give some path where I should store all these files and folders? So in your computer, ఏదో ఒక drive లో virtual machines అనే ఒక folder create చేసి, let's say Aparna. So C drive, or in your case, don't take C drive or D drive or E drive. So any other drive, take any other drive. So you create one folder Aparna. Inside that you create another folder, let's say virtual machines. Then give this path, copy this path, complete path, where your virtual machine, you're supposed to store your virtual machines. But don't follow the default path. Default ga C users ekkada pettudandi. So don't follow this. So give your own path. What I'm saying is give your own path. Hence copy and paste. Let's say I copied and I'm pasting that. So copy and paste the path where your files supposed to be saved. C drive, so and so virtual machines, slash. After slash, must and should, your server name must be there. Whatever you give, not the exact name. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Whenever it's a virtual machine, and a fully qualified name, this is not the place we give. Sorry for that. Here you give only server 52. Fully qualified name, we will be providing later point of time. Adi ekkade valla tarvata cheptanu. But here, yes, you have to give only server name, not fully qualified name. Okay, virtual machine name server 52. In your case, it is server 1. Then where give the path where these files supposed to store. Clear? Only 2 steps here. Provide the VM name and provide the path where these files supposed to store. Any difficulty? Yep. Hello.
Understood,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. I'll share the video as well. Follow this, and whatever I did, you please do it. Yeah. So in this screen, only 2 information, then say next. Then here it is asking, boss, how many CPU? Because we have to mention how much CPU, how much RAM, how much hard disk drive. Whatever you mention here, accordingly, it will try to allocate it will check from your base laptop. A laptop la hardware available unte, yes, it will allocate. So always number of CPUs, go ahead with 1. Number of CPUs, please mention 1, more than enough. For each virtual machine, you mention 1 CPU, then say simply next. Then this is the place where you have to mention memory. Memory means RAM memory. Always try to create VM by assigning minimum 2 GB. 2 GB means try to give 2048. What is the value? Try to give 2048 MB. 2048 MB means nothing but 2 GB. So create each VM with 2 GB, then say next. Okay, where is that? Not open. Okay, I think I pressed escape something. It's gone, I think. Let me do it again, not a problem. Okay, so say new virtual machine. Is it stored somewhere here? No. Okay, all right. So let's create once again. The window has gone, I think. File, new virtual machine, custom, next, next, third option, next. Make sure Linux got selected. Next. And here it should be Linux. And it drop down low, me and all versions of Linux it will list. But from this list, you make sure that CentOS, whatever OS we plan to install. So CentOS 664-bit, make sure that in this drop down, only this option should be there. You understood? ఇక్కడ చాలా వర్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి, అన్ని వర్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. దానిలో మీరు మనం ఏ వర్షన్ అయితే ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయబోతున్నా ఆ పర్టికులర్ వర్షన్ మీరు ఇక్కడ సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి. CentOS 6, CentOS 6.8. So 6.8 means 64-bit, 64-bit. Then say next. Then here I told you to give us, let us say server 52. So what is the path I told you? So I'll be copying my own path. So let's say this is my path. That's it. Then say next. CPU 1 CPU, RAM 2048. Then say next. All right. ఇక డిఫాల్ట్ గా NAT గేట్వే, NAT నెట్వర్కింగ్ సిస్టమ్ ఇది డిఫాల్ట్ గా ఏది ఉందో అది వదిలేసేయండి. ఐ విల్ డిస్కస్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ లేటర్. సో నెక్స్ట్ సే NAT, మేక్ షూర్ NAT అనేది సెలెక్ట్ అయి ఉంటుంది. సే నెక్స్ట్, అగైన్ నెక్స్ట్, అగైన్ నెక్స్ట్, SCSI నెక్స్ట్. దెన్ క్రియేట్ ఎ న్యూ వర్చువల్ డిస్క్, న్యూ వర్చువల్ డిస్క్. మేక్ షూర్ ఫస్ట్ ఆప్షన్ సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోండి. సే నెక్స్ట్. Then this is the place where it is asking how much hard disk. Hard disk, please select 100 GB. You try to create every VM with 100 GB, 2 GB RAM, 1 CPU. Okay. So make sure you select 100 here, 100 hard disk drive. Then say next. All right. Then ikkada VMDK file untade. Idi em cheyadu, leave it as it is. Say next. Finish. Finally finish. Done. Your computer is ready. And the first part, it is as good as assembling your physical computer. Physical computer ready ayindi, but now we have to start installing OS. It's like మీరు parts అన్ని మార్కెట్ నుండి తీసుకొచ్చి అసెంబుల్ చేసినట్లు. So your computer is ready. What is the computer name? Server 52. In your case, it will be server 1. So once this computer is ready, then we have to start installing operating system now. To install OS, you click on this edit virtual machine settings. You see here, edit virtual machine settings, click on this. Once you click on this, select the CD/DVD select cheskoni. Here use ISO image file, because just now explain what is ISO file. We have to point మీ హార్డ్ డిస్క్ లో ఎక్కడో ఒక చోట స్టోర్ చేసుకొని పెట్టుకుంటారు కదా. సో సమ్వేర్ నేను పంపించినటువంటి ఆ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ISO ఫైల్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకొని, లెట్స్ సే యు హావ్ స్టోర్డ్ సమ్వేర్. సో లెట్స్ సే మై OSO ఫైల్ ఇస్ హియర్. ఐ హావ్ టు పాయింట్ టు దిస్ పాత్. ఈ పాత్కి వచ్చి నేను ఈ ఫైల్ కి పాయింట్ చేయాలి. పాయింట్ చేస్తే దెన్ ఇట్ విల్ టేక్ దిస్ OS ఫైల్, ఇట్ విల్ కంటిన్యూ ద ఇన్స్టాలేషన్. Now I have to tell where this file is located. Where this file is located, I have to tell now. So for that, what I have selected, use ISO image file. Select this. After you click on CD/DVD, you select this option, use ISO file image, then browse and go to that path where that file is located. So C drive. So this is where my file is located. Generic Devops softwares. here. You see? So select this file, then say open. It means what we are providing here? We are providing the path for your ISO file. Clear? Then say, that's it. Then say OK. Then say OK. In second step, what we did, I clicked on edit virtual machine settings. Then I pointed where my OS file is there. That's it, done. Now, next we have to click on this power on virtual machine. Once we click on this, your installation will start now. Your installation of your operating system will start now. Let me click on this. You see? So I think what is happening? Let me increase the font. You see here? Yeah? Your installation start అయింది. Either you click on this. మీ కర్సర్ ఇక్కడ తీసుకొచ్చి దీనిపైన క్లిక్ చేయండి. Let's say, or it will start automatically. Let's say I click on this. I'll click on this. The moment I click on this, your installation started. Now the installation of your operating system is happening. Okay. So once you get this, let me go inside. What is happening? Okay, I'll show you. Yeah. So one next and next, it is very easy. And next ఏమేమి వస్తుందో next క్లిక్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళడమే ఏం లేదు. సో in second screen, ఈ ఫస్ట్ స్క్రీన్ ఏదైతే వస్తుందో ఇక్కడ you have to select skip. You have to click on skip. Either you click on with mouse or try to use your arrow keys. So right side arrow. If you click on right side arrow key, control will come here, say enter. It means skip it. It's just like any other software installation, guys. Not a difficult task. So next, what you have to do with your mouse, keep on next. Say next. Then say English language, say next. US English. Then here it is asking what type of device will you install? Basic storage devices. So say next. It just next. So here, yes, discard any data. Say it is asking, it's a so disk allocation, right? So it is asking whether if any data do you need to remove. Say yes, discard any data. It means me laptop lo ఉన్నటువంటి data ఎక్కడికే పోదు. If you say this, it will clean it. If anything, don't think that it will clean your data, existing data. No. Okay, just say yes, discard any data. Nothing will happen. And this is the place where I'm telling, provide your fully qualified domain name, local domain, wherever localhost.local domain is there. This is a screen where I'm saying provide your computer name as a fully qualified domain name as, let's say, server52.abc.com. ఇక్కడ ఒక చోట మీరు గుర్తుంచుకొని కరెక్ట్గా ఇవ్వాలి. In your case, it will be server1.abc.com. Host name, provide a fully qualified domain name, and it is required to work with your Devops tools. Once you give your name like this, say next, that's it. Next. Here you have to select a time zone. Either you go, right, London, where somewhere here, wherever London comes, either you click here, or if you feel difficulty in selecting here, you can also select from here. Okay. So London, right? Just place your cursor here. So where it is, you see, somewhere Europe, London. Yeah, here you see, select this one, Europe, London. Time zone, just select time zone. Say next. And this is very important, guys. Along with your operating system, by default, one admin user will get created. మీ OS installation తో పాటు ఒక admin user అన్నప్పుడు your system will create. And the username is root. What is the username? Root. I'll discuss about these users later, but time being, you remember, or during installation, it will create one default user, and the username is root user. User అది create చేస్తుంది. System will create the root user, but it is asking, boss, if you want, you can change the password. If you want, what is the username? Root user. For this root user, if you want to give your own password, you can give your own password. That's what it is saying. Everyone, for every user we create in Linux, try to give password as Red Hat. Please write down Red Hat and confirm you can give any password మీరు ఏమైనా ఇవ్వచ్చండి, but let us everyone follow the same password. So every user going forward, every user we create in Linux, everyone stick to one password. Password is Red Hat. Is that clear? So for root password, you try to give us Red Hat. Then say next. Use anyway. Here, from all these options, try to create custom layout. Try to select create custom layout. Please write down create custom layout. Please select, make sure you select this. Then say next. Right? This is very important. Here we have to do partitions. Follow the partitions, whatever I suggest, do the same way. So in Linux, our hard disk is usually represented with SDA. The name is SDA, Dev SDA. 100 GB ఏదైతే ఇచ్చామో 100 GB. So this is the free space. Now it is everything is free. Now this hard disk we are going to create into partitions. Partitions కింద create చేయాలి. Total 100 GB. This is ఇది MB లో ఉందండి. ఈ MB KB, I think. This KB, if we convert, it will be in 102398 something, right? This is actually round figure చేస్తే ఇది 100 GB. This is 100 GB. మనం ఏదైతే allocate చేసామో 100 GB, everything is free now. This hard disk, now we have to create partitions. For that, select this one, say create. Are you noting down the steps? Of course, video also will be there. Same time, if you want to note down, please note down the steps. So select whatever free is there, select this, then say create. ఇక్కడ ఏం చేయబోతున్నాం మనం? హార్డ్ డిస్క్ టోటల్ 100 GB మనం అసైన్ చేసిన హార్డ్ డిస్క్ ని పార్టీషన్స్ కింద క్రియేట్ చేసి ఫార్మాట్ చేయాలని చెప్పాం. ఓకేనే? Now I am actually creating partitions. Create. Here standard partition, whatever standard partition, go ahead with that. Create. You understood? Yes. So now from drop down, select, let me refer to this. So follow the same configurations, what I mentioned here. Okay. So you can screenshot it and show me. Follow the same thing. /boot 200 MB / whatever remaining, swap memory. This is the one. I'll tell here, you understood. Very first partition is /boot. And this is required for Linux, guys. Boot partition is required. From first drop down, select /boot. That's it. And file system is ext4. File system ఉంటుంది. File system అంటే extension 4. అదే విండోస్లో అయితే FAT32, FAT ఇట్లా ఉంటాయండి. సో which we call it అంటే ఏ ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్. ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్ మీన్స్ మనం హార్డ్ డిస్క్ పార్టిషన్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఫార్మాట్ చేసిన తర్వాత all the files and folders we create, it has to follow one file system. Whatever file system we are interested, we have to mention here. But usually in Unix, the file system will be ext4. అదే విండోస్ ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ అప్పుడైతే FAT32 అట్లా ఉంటుంది. మీకు గుర్తుంటే మీరు ఎవరైనా ఓఎస్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి ఉంటే అంతకుముందు, సో ఫైల్ సిస్టమ్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు సెలెక్ట్. But even if you don't have experience, not to worry, just remember this. File system type ext4. Make sure if you click on this drop down, there will be other file systems as well, right? But we are selecting ext4. First drop down /boot ext4. Then here 200 MB. Whatever 200 MB is there, leave it. So in this screen, make sure these three values got selected. Then say okay. Done. First partition is created. What is the partition name? What is the mount point name? /boot. How much size? 200 MB. What is the type of file system? ext4. Done. Next, we have to create another partition. To create another next partition, whatever free hard disk, make sure you select this first. Then select cheskoni same procedure follow. It means again click on create, standard partition, again create. So here from second drop down, right, swap, you select swap. Next, the partition we are going to create is swap memory. Swap. We have swap partition. From second drop down, you make sure you select swap. What is the file system we have selected? Swap. First drop down, no need to select anything. From second drop down, for second partition, swap. And always, how much MB we have to allocate for swap? Please write down. Your swap memory should be double, 2 times of your RAM memory. We know that we have chosen 2 GB for RAM memory. Your swap memory should be 2 times of that. It means 4 GB. So try to give 4000. 4000 MB means 4 GB. You understood? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Swap memory 4000. Say okay. 2 partitions over. Next, third one is whatever free, మిగిలింది ఏదైతే ఉందో సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోండి. Then try to follow the same procedure to create third partition, create. Again, create. So దీన్ని కొంచెం పక్కకి just drag aside, right? Third partition we are going to create is /root. Yesterday we discussed root is the parent directory. So it means whatever left out, మిగతాది ఏదైతే మిగిలిందో మొత్తం రూట్ కి ఇచ్చేయండి. So make sure you select /root mount point. Then ext4 only, దాని అలానే ఉందండి. సో ఇక్కడ 98199 ఏదైతే మిగిలిందో మొత్తం ఇక్కడ టైప్ చేయండి. 98199. That's it. మిగిలింది ఏదైతే ఉందో try to give it for root. Simply say okay. Done. So 3 partitions ఈ స్క్రీన్ లో ఎలా ఉన్నాయో అలాగే క్రియేట్ చేయండి. Finally say next. That's it. Now you see partitions create అయిన తర్వాత అదేమవుతుందండి, ఫార్మాట్ చేయాలని అడుగుతుంది. సే ఫార్మాట్. పార్టీషన్స్ క్రియేట్ చేశారు బట్ ఫార్మాటింగ్ చేయలేదు. దెన్ యూ కెనాట్ రైట్ ఎనీ డేటా ఆన్ హార్డ్ డిస్క్. ఆ హార్డ్ డిస్క్ లో ఏ డేటా మనం రాయలేము until unless we format the hard disk. Now it is automatically saying, boss, do you want to format? Say yes, format. Then say write changes to disk. Select this. Now we see it is formatting. Now it is formatting. So I'll explain now what will happen during format. So format, yeah, let me complete it, then explain. Formatting up I'll tell you later. So let's say formatting is completed. Now it is saying, just say next, proceed to installation. Now, what type of installation you are interested in? It is asking, boss, which type of installation you want to do? Desktop or a minimal or etc., right? You say desktop installation, of course. Okay. Whatever first one is there, please go ahead with that. Then let us finish. Say next. Now you see, the actual installation process, now it started. Whatever information it is required, once you provide all the information, the actual installation of our operating system, now it started. As part of installation, it will install multiple packages. మన విండోస్ లో అయితే సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ అంటాం. ట్రై టు రిమెంబర్ దిస్. విండోస్ లో నేమింగ్ కన్వెన్షన్ మనం సాఫ్ట్వేర్ అంటాం, సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్. అదే లైనక్స్ టెర్మినాలజీలో సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ని ప్యాకేజెస్ అంటాం. సో నవ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ట్రైంగ్ టు ఇన్స్టాల్ డిఫరెంట్ ప్యాకేజెస్ యాజ్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ లైనక్స్ ఇన్స్టాలేషన్. యూ అండర్స్టూడ్? డిఫరెంట్ ప్యాకేజెస్ ఆ ఓఎస్ ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ తో పాటు, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ విండోస్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసాం. విండోస్ ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ తో పాటు మనకి అడిషనల్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ కూడా వస్తాయి, లైక్ నోట్ ప్యాడ్, ఎంఎస్ పెయింట్, చిన్న టూల్స్, అదర్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ కూడా బండిల్ అయ్యి ఇన్స్టాల్ అవుతాయి, అవునా? సో అట్లానే లైనక్స్ ఓఎస్ తో పాటు కొన్ని ఇంటర్నల్ గా కొన్ని టూల్స్ వస్తాయి. అండ్ ఎవ్రీ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ వి కాల్ ఇన్ లైనక్స్ యాజ్ ఎ ప్యాకేజ్. ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇన్స్టాలింగ్ different packages as part of your OS installation. Clear, guys? So it takes 5 to 10 minutes for today. So let it happen. What is that? So let's say installation is going on, guys. And one more thing is, please try to understand. To go inside, see, VMware workstation software is on top of your OS. కొన్నిసార్లు మీ కర్సర్ లోపలికి వెళ్ళదు. అంటే మీరు ఎక్కడ లోపలికి వెళ్ళాలి అంటే ఇక్కడ చదవండి, ఇక్కడ కింద ఉంటుంది, ఆ రైట్ డౌన్. యూ హ్యావ్ టు ప్రెస్ ఆల్ట్ కంట్రోల్ ఆల్ట్ కీ ప్రెస్ చేస్తే దెన్ యూ కెన్ కమ్ అవుట్. యువర్ కర్సర్ కంట్రోల్ విల్ కమ్ అవుట్. Once again, if you want to go inside this, again you have to press Control Alt. Then only you will go inside. You understood? Every time to go inside your VM, to come out of your VM, you have to press Control Alt. That will be written somewhere here. Ikkada kuda rasi untadandi, మీరు చదవచ్చు. So yeah, somewhere here it will be written, but please make a note. Control Alt. So let it install. Now let me explain what is this raw hard disk, guys. హార్డ్ డిస్క్ ఫార్మాట్ ఎలా జరుగుతుంది ఒకసారి చెప్తాను వినండి. మీన్ వైల్ లెట్ ఇట్ హ్యాపెన్ ఇన్స్టాలేషన్. లెట్స్ సే మీరు మార్కెట్ నుండి ఒక హార్డ్ డిస్క్ బై చేశారు. లెట్స్ సే మనం ఏమి ఇచ్చాం, విఎంకి 100 GB హార్డ్ డిస్క్ ఇచ్చాం. లెట్స్ సే 100 GB. ఫస్ట్ ఐ టోల్డ్ యూ we have to do partitions. We have created 3 partitions. What are the partitions? First I created a /boot. Then I created something known as a swap. Then I created remaining we have given for slash. Let's say partitions. These are hard disk, raw hard disk. Okay. Let me write here. Yeah. /boot swap. Then that. Just like your C drive, D drive, atla partitions atla unte atlana. So this is my raw hard disk. This is the hard disk drive. Once you create your partition, we have to format చేసేటప్పుడు ఏం జరుగుతుందన్నా అంటే, try to understand while creating, right? Yeah, during your, let's say, just a second. Let me represent this way. So what it will do is, during your hard disk formatting, it will try to create tracks and sectors. మనం ఫార్మాట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏం జరుగుతుందంటే, it will try to create some tracks and sectors. You understood? So every block here you see is one ఇవన్నీ ట్రాక్స్ సెక్టార్స్ అంటారండి. ఇవన్నీ ట్రాక్స్, లైన్స్ అనే ట్రాక్స్, ఇవన్నీ సారీ సర్కిల్స్ అనే ట్రాక్స్, ఇవన్నీ సెక్టార్స్. It will create what it will does it during formatting. So format చేయక ముందు ఇది ఎంటీగా ఉంటుంది. ఎంటీగా ఉంది, ఎంటీ when it is empty it is like a raw hard disk. But during formatting, whenever it is doing format, okay, what happens to your hard disk is it actually creates logically it actually creates a tracks and sectors. Once tracks and sectors are created, then later point of time, whenever we create some files and folders, your files and folders will get stored in every tracks or sectors. You understood? మనం తర్వాత హార్డ్ డిస్క్ ఏమైనా రాస్తున్నప్పుడు ఫైల్స్ అండ్ ఫోల్డర్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసి వైల్ యు ఆర్ రైటింగ్ యువర్ డేటా, those data will be written into your tracks and sectors. This is how it happens internally within the hard disk. In order to write some data onto your hard disk, your raw hard disk has to be formatted. Whenever you format, it actually creates sectors and tracks. You understood? అర్థమైందా? This is not very important, just for your information, I'm telling. Okay?
Yes, sir.
It actually creates tracks and sectors. Don't worry, not very important, but you should understand. It's good to understand what is happening during formatting. Okay. Let it complete. Once it is completed installation, it will ask you to reboot your VM twice. 2 times it's required to reboot your machine. Once you reboot, your virtual machine will be ready. Why? Because మీకు డెమాన్స్ట్రేట్ చేస్తూ చెప్పాలి కాబట్టి ఎంత టైం పట్టింది. Once you create tomorrow and after tomorrow, if you create 1 VM or 2 VMs, next time onwards, within 5-10 minutes, you can create each VM. ఓకే, ఒకసారి మీకు అలవాటు అయిన తర్వాత 10 minutes లో ఒక VM క్రియేట్ చేసి రెడీ చేస్తారు. సో సింపుల్. Because same steps, if you remember those steps, next. So it's very easy to create 1 VM, 1 virtual machine, right? So nowadays, within 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we are in a position to create 1 virtual Linux machine or 1 Linux box. In olden days, to create 1 Linux machine, it used to take minimum half day. This is the speed we achieved using VMware orchestration or hypervisor tools. So, yes, so it is asking to reboot. So go inside and click reboot once. Done. It is rebooting. By tomorrow, you need to create how many servers? 3 servers. Server 1, server 2, server 3. In the same way. You understood?
Yes, sir.
Once your servers are ready, tomorrow we're going to quickly learn the basic commands required to work with the Devops. Once you are familiar with the basic Unix commands, we'll move on to actual Devops tools, Ansible and other tools. So once it is rebooted, just go and say forward. It proceed. Proceed on it. Just say forward. And no need to create any user as of now. Leave it. Just say once again forward. Then here you did not set up any. That's okay. Fine. Yes. Say yes. Then say forward. Here it will say 128 kVm. అంటే మీ OS క్రాష్ అయినప్పుడు అది కొద్దిగా డంప్ తీస్తుంది. దానికి 128 అని డిఫాల్ట్ ఉంది. డిఫాల్ట్ ఏదైతే ఉందో వదిలేసేయండి. జస్ట్ సే ఫినిష్. దట్స్ ఇట్. Then say yes. It is asking once again. Right? Maybe. Okay. It will reboot once again. That's it. Done. Your VM will be ready. As I'll be sharing this video, keep as reference. If any doubt, please rewind and see. That's it. Once 2 times it rebooted, your mission is ready. Just say other. Then what is the first user? మనకు తెలిసినటువంటి యూజర్ ఇప్పుడు ఇప్పటి వరకు ఈ సిస్టమ్ ఎవరైనా ఉన్నది రూట్ యూజర్. రూట్ యూజర్ మనం క్రియేట్ చేయవసరం లేదు. బై డిఫాల్ట్ ఆల్రెడీ క్రియేట్ అవుతాడు. మనం పాస్వర్డ్ మాత్రం ఇచ్చాం. వాట్ ఈస్ ద పాస్వర్డ్ యూ హ్యావ్ గివెన్? రెడ్ హ్యాట్. Red hat is the password. Root and Red Hat, using those credentials, log in into your mission. See? So now your mission is ready. See? మీ ల్యాప్టాప్ ఎలా ఉందో అలాగే దీని డెస్క్టాప్ కూడా ఉంటుంది. డెస్క్టాప్ ఉంటుంది. బట్ don't try to. Once you create VM, we are not going to work in desktop mode. Desktop mode లో వర్క్ చేస్తే again it's as good as you are working in Windows. So మన desktop mode లో వర్క్ చేయం. మనం what we are going to do is we'll right click and say open in terminal. And this is the command line mode. So let's say here we are going to work. If you say host name, even once your VM got created, we are going to work in this. This is the command line mode. This is the place where we are going to work. You understood? Yeah. Every day we have to work in this command mode. Command mode. When I say host name, these are all the commands. To know my computer name. 1 second. Yeah. To know my computer name, let's say host name is the command in Unix. With which user we logged in? Root user. What's your root user, right? So what is your VM name? Server 52. If I want to see fully qualified name, host name is the command. Then whatever we provided, you will see here. Tomorrow onwards, once our VMs are ready, we are going to work in command line. These are the commands. So this way, every day we are going to work in command line mode. And to get your internet, మీ system కి VM కి మీ ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి VM కి ఇంటర్నెట్ రావాలి అంటే ఇక్కడ రెడ్ కలర్ క్రాస్ మార్క్ ఉండకూడదు. Click on this, then say system ETH0. If you see any red color cross mark here, it means no internet for your VM. Whatever your VM you created, internet లేదని. దానికి ఇంటర్నెట్ రావాలి అంటే from where does internet will come for your VM? From the same your base mission. మీ ల్యాప్టాప్ ఏదైతే ఉందో అండర్లయింగ్ మిషన్ దానికి ఉన్నటువంటి ఇంటర్నెట్ దీనికి వస్తుంది. For that, you need to click on here and say system ETH0. That cross mark will go off now. It means we have got the internet. Now you say ping google.com. This is another command. So you will get some data. The data vastundante meeku internet connect ayinatle. So till here do it. Commands, don't worry. We can work from tomorrow onwards. I'll teach you all the commands. By tomorrow, go through this video. Everyone, please make sure to create 3 servers. Clear? Yep.
Okay, Anna.
Yes, sir.
If you get any doubts tomorrow, today onwards, for any practical issues, please post it in a group I added. Practicals in a group create chesanu. Any issue, take the snapshot and post it. And others, whoever done, please come forward and help. అంటే మీరు చేసేసి మీరు గమ్మున ఉండకూడదు. ఎవరైనా ఇష్యూ ఏమైనా పోస్ట్ చేస్తే మీరు ఆల్రెడీ చేసేసి ఉంటే సో టెల్ ద స్టెప్స్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ హౌ యూ హ్యావ్ టు డూ. ప్రొవైడ్ ద సొల్యూషన్ దేర్. Try to help yourself, everyone. So that's what we are discussing, right? In agile methodology, it's not అంటే మన పని మనం చేసుకున్నామా అయిపోయిందని కాదు. Everyone as a team అందరం కూడా ఒకే పేజ్ లో ఉండాలి. If someone is lagging behind, you have to help them. Let's try to be on the same page. Clear? Try to help each other in WhatsApp group. Today onwards, for any practical issues, is someone already done, try to help those who are facing some issues. Clear? All right. I think that's it for today. Any questions before we wind up? Today's session is clear?
No, sir, as of now. Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yeah. Please be ready with your 3 servers. What are the servers you have created? I already written in our notes. Let me repeat again. Follow the same thing. You have to create server 1, server 2, server 3, and fully host name, fully qualified domain names. In that particular screen, you have to view this way. What are the steps? First, install VMware Workstation. I will share all the softwares now. Please download and save it in one proper directory. మీ laptop లో డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకొని ఒక డైరెక్టరీలో సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ అని సేవ్ చేసుకోండి. నెక్స్ట్ వెరీ ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ సర్వర్. దట్స్ ఇట్. Steps will be there in your video. Okay, clear?
Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.